he just says, go and blow the lot on whatever you want.
He let the cat out the bag there then, didn't he? I don't spend it, to tell you the truth. I give it because it's like the Bros thing. They were told that they had this amount of money and they went out and bought a nice Cartier watch. They went out and bought this car, this car. They were my age. I know that if I'm given or told that I've got that amount of money, then I'm going to go out and say, hey, everybody come with me, the drinks are on me, and do you want that car? That's your car there, hey, and do all that business. So they keep the money away from me.
I mean, obviously at this moment, through writing songs, I'm slightly better off than the boys are. But to be honest, we don't get much time to spend money, unfortunately. So we're not bothered, So we're all really good friends still. And I don't think money comes into it at all. It's very difficult, merchandising is, because you've always got to be seen not to be exploiting the people that are coming to your concerts. And I think with the tour we've just done, they were planning the programmes to be £7. So we all said, let's keep the programmes at the same price as the last tour, £5. Because when I go to a concert, I love to buy a programme to remember it by. You know, and to come to our concerts, there's all types of different people. There's the people who really can't afford to be there to start with and would love to buy a programme. And I think that most youngsters, when they go to a concert, are often given £5 from their parents. I know I always was. I wasn't from a particularly wealthy family. I was always given a £5 to go to a concert and buy a programme. So I always think that these days, you know, money isn't as it used to be. And I think that nearly everybody can afford £5 for a programme now, if nothing else. So I think also on the November tour, we're planning on keeping those programmes again at £5 because everybody wants to take a programme home with them. So we try our best to always keep the prices low, but you're always in competition with the people who are making their own merchandise and doing a lot cheaper than you know. We get often asked to do things like lunch boxes and silly things like that, you know, but I think this comes to a point where you can go over the top and people become sick of take that, and that's what we don't want to do. And I think T-shirts and posters are the main things, and we just don't want to get to that stage where people are saying, we're sick of these guys, you know. We're trying to stay out of the limelight as much as possible, but we're not having a good time of it. When I was about 18, I just met Nigel, actually. And as you know, he owns also a model agency, an acting agency. And it come up this day, I was on the dole at the time, I was really short of money. And Nigel said, go in there, they're doing a casting for chewing gum, you know. And I'd never done anything like that before, and I went in and this guy told me to put this Stimorol between my teeth, and he said, hey, that looks great. And a couple of hours later, he said, you know, this is brilliant, you know, I'll pick you for the job. So I got it somehow, I don't know how. It was just one shot, and I think it was only used in trading magazines. I don't think it was commercially used as an advert, you know. I think recently, though, Smash Hits have bought the picture back and they used it in one of their copies.
When the band first started out, they said, somebody's 18, somebody's 19, somebody's 17, but you weren't. And now it seems to be that in interviews, you're actually giving your real age.
Well, there is actually an explanation behind that. I hate these kind of questions because it always seems like we're trying to get ourselves out of a mess, which we are actually doing. No, there was a couple of ages that, I think it's Howard's and Mark's, that always seemed to get messed up in the early days, and there was press releases written. And unfortunately, magazines and newspapers are not always correct, you know, accurate as far as how old we all are and when we were born and where we were born and how many brothers and sisters and this, that and the other. So there's so many, like, things that were printed that are not actually fact that we decided to go along with a few of them because there's nothing wrong with having a few years knocked off your age, especially if people are saying it. But now we decided that it's important for people to know that I'm 23 and like Howard's 25 and Mark's however old he is. But to tell you the truth, I get confused about how old the guys are because we have a birthday every year and it throws me off.
And when will the album be released in Europe? I
think they're looking for an October release. We've got a single coming out around September time and then the album shortly afterwards. I'm excited.
personally, I'm very, very pleased with the new album. I'm so happy, really, and I think it's not often that artists can say, this album I'm really happy with. So I feel quite lucky to be able to do that. But I think this new album's a lot more directional than the last one was. I think we were finding our feet in a lot of ways on the last album. We didn't really know where it was going to end up. I think it was luck in the end that took us where we were going to. I think it's brilliant if we can all put ideas forward to everything we're doing. You know, when we're putting a stage show together, we all sit in a room and we get very excited, you know, by the things we're saying, oh, that should be there, that should be there. And I think if it can get that way when we're writing songs, you know, that everybody's involved, you know, I'm sure there's a bright future ahead.
Howard likes water, you see, and he likes like diving in the pools and things. He was very warm, so he was trying to keep cool. I think the idea of the video, actually, we tried to get 4 elements across, which is earth, wind, fire and water. But it didn't really happen. It didn't really work, but the video's all right anyway.